What is up, y'all? It's the one and only Brotherhood Healing, and today I am wanting to make a video about how to become aware. Um, so I've noticed something in my entire life that I don't know if others are aware. I mean, not to say that they aren't, but just I feel as though people move without understanding why they do what they do. Um, so just with previous situations that I've had, people always come to me as I guess you could say, as a mediator. And I'm always the person who is essentially a voice of reason. And I don't know, I feel as though for me, I'm not going to say I've always been my own voice of reason, because I have had times where I've wanted to have a voice of reason, but just had no one to go to. Um, and that all really shifted when I got into my early 20s. I'm 20. I just turned 24. I would say the real time that I truly became self-aware was when I was 20. One Around the time when I hit 20, that's when I would say I really became self-aware. And my personal definition, well, the true meaning of awareness is having knowledge that something exists. I would say that my personal definition of awareness is questioning yourself. Like, that to me is the most simple key to having self-awareness. And the reason I say that is because it helps you to figure out a lot of what is going on in your mind. So, if I'm being honest, well, I'm not going to say I never, but it wasn't until I had spoke with this sort of like life coach, and for the whole time, at least that I can remember, they weren't saying anything. Like, they were the ones that were asking me questions and just getting me to break down what it is that I'm going through. And when I did, I realized, like, damn, oh, okay, so this is where it's coming from. All right. And so I don't know, being the person that I am, I took that encounter and I sort of applied it to what I was going through. So the things that the life coaches were doing, I sort of implemented that and started taking that on myself. And I want to say, honestly, that has saved me a lot of time, a lot of money, and a lot of energy, a lot of wasted energy. Because I feel as though, since we're human, we have our emotions, and we get upset, we get mad, we get angry, this, that, and the third. But most of the time, we don't really have a awareness as to why we are getting this way or feeling this way about a certain person or a situation. There's been times that I've gotten angry and upset with someone, and the only reason why at least me personally, the only reason why I would get upset and angry at a person is because I felt as though they limited my autonomy. And see, most of the time, that's when everyone gets mad. Like, when you're interfering with someone's autonomy or freedom, I should say. But me personally, I don't believe in freedom. I believe in autonomy. Well, I know we have autonomy. Anyways, uh, I feel as though they were messing with my autonomy. So that got me upset. And then I had to stop. I had to pause. Well, I'm not going to lie. I didn't really pause. But once the situation, once I was able to get away from the situation, it was still that energy of anger was still in me. And so I just had to stop and pause. Because, see, I feel as though most people, they don't stop and pause and sit in silence because they're afraid of their own thoughts. And see, that's the perfect time. Because, see, if you're afraid to sit alone with your thoughts, then something is wrong. Something is truly wrong. And you've been masking it for too long. Like, because I'm pretty sure whatever it is, the reason why you can't sit in silence, I'm not going to say I'm going to just say for me personally, if I'm not needing to sit in silence, it's not that deep. I mean, it would feel that deep to me, but it's not that deep. Because once you have an awareness of why you feel the way you feel, you're able to change that. I would say with people that I know, they aren't able to realize why they're wanting to do the things they're wanting to do. See, I feel as though people don't break down their trauma. See, you have to think of the reason why you do the things that you do. And because see, it's all your desires and your trauma, they're fractions. They're a big ass fraction. And you have to, what do you do with fractions? Fractions, you have to break them down to their simplest term. So if you have a big fraction and then you're that little 4 at the bottom, and then say the number's like 875 or something, you got to break down that fraction until it gets simple again. It gets short, simple, stupid. And most of the time, that's when when you're breaking down a fraction, or AKA your trauma, that's when you question yourself. And like I said, it's going to be a big thing. So it's going to be general. So first you're going to get general. You're going to be like, why are you upset? Then you can say something like, man, this motherfucker cussed me out and he hurt me and da 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 da. And then you question yourself again. Why do you get so affected by someone you don't even know who has caused you this much pain? So then that's when you go like, oh, well, because I never had this happen to me before. And da 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 da. And it's just like, oh, well, why haven't you had this happen to you before? Are you afraid of being challenged? And then you go like, yeah, I'm afraid of being challenged. Da, 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 da. Why are you afraid of being challenged? Who caused that? Oh, it was my motherfucker. It's them motherfuckers. My daddy. Oh, yeah, you said it. And like I said, that's just you having self-dialogue, just giving yourself multiple questions. And so once you do that, you're able to say, well, now that we know that it's your dad that challenged you and made you feel powerless or have a lack of autonomy, you now have the chance to figure out and say, okay, well, that was then and this is now. And you have to figure out. And then you ask yourself, well, how can you fix this? Why are you letting this affect you? And how can you fix this next time this situation arises? What are things that we can do right now to make sure that you do not get angry and feel less than? What are the steps we need to take? And then you'd be like, oh, I can build my self-worth. Because most of the time, if you're getting mad with somebody or you're going back and forth with somebody, it's because you have a lack of self-worth, at least in my opinion. Like I said, everything that's outside of me, they'll have a different perspective, but I'm going to keep mine, because at the end of the day, awareness is about knowing thyself, not knowing thy people. Shout out to Brother Panic, RIP. But yeah, you have to know yourself. This journey is about self. It's not about other people. Be comfortable with the answers that you give. And that's the problem. Most people, they're not comfortable with receiving answers from themselves. Like I said, it's okay. It's okay to search for answers outside of yourself because you don't have all the answers. But get started on that path. Figure out as much as you can and then back it with research, because the research is out there. And try what works for you. And see, this is why they say knowledge is power. This is why you have to build your knowledge. You have to read books. Read books. Like, read books. Literally, I'm surrounded by books. Because like I said, most of the time you have to ask yourself, like, why am I feeling bad today? Is this a mental thing? Is this a spiritual thing? Is this a mental thing? Is this an emotional thing? Like, you have to figure out why you feel the way that you feel. And a lot of the times, well, most of the time, it's a physical thing. Because see, most of the time you don't have the capacity to deal with certain shit because you're putting shit in your body. You're putting shit in your body that does not belong. That is causing you to have these reactions with people. Now, not saying you still can't have bad reactions with people, even if you're healthy, but if you're healthy, you're better able to become aware of why you're getting upset and then divert from the situation. That's why you have to make sure that you're putting the right things in your body. You're not just physically, but mentally and emotionally. Because see, your mind is nothing more than a computer, and a computer doesn't keep, well, let me rephrase. A computer keeps memories. And most of the time when your mind has already been programmed with ideas and a culture is just another form of mind control. Now, when I say mind control, I'm not trying to sound like them crazy conspiracy theorists being like, oh yeah, they're controlling your mind. They're putting things in the food. They're putting things in the media. They're controlling you. Them reptilians. The aliens are coming. I'm not. It's not that deep. It's really not that deep. Again, it is not that deep. If you read books, if you read psychology, if you study psychology, you'll understand. If you study neuroscience, it's not that deep. And like I said, I don't study. I mean, I study these things, but most of the time I'm conversing with some friends of mine in the group chat, and they are the ones who are studying psychology and neuroscience. So they have a general understanding of why people act the way they act or do what they do. And like I said, and I learned from them. And I don't know. Sometimes they learn from me whenever I'm in the group chat. You know what I mean? I try to stay in there most of the time, but during the summertime, like I be too busy. But now that I'm in my slow season, I can finally unwind, cool down. I'm good. So yeah, like I said, you have to build your knowledge. Once you become aware, it's it is imperative that you build knowledge and you break programming inside of your mind that does not belong. And when I say programming, that just means the things that you have constantly repeated to yourself. You have to check that. Like a person, a person that says, "Oh, I'm not stupid. I'm not stupid." Like, okay, having a way, or you just can't tell yourself things. And that's another thing. Because, see, a person can say, "Oh, I'm smart. I'm smart. I'm smart." And then you get put into a situation where you have to prove that. And now you can't. So how smart are you? You have to you have to accept and be real with yourself. I mean, you ain't got to be real with anybody. And just because you don't know something, that doesn't mean that you're not smart. You just don't know that shit. Like I said, it's with me. Like, there's a lot of things that I don't know, but people still come to me anyways. Like, I don't know that. Why are you asking me? Go to a therapist. I'm not a therapist. So if I say something wrong, you can't get mad at me because I done already told you I'm not a fucking therapist. You need to go see one. I'm not your therapist. But I can help you in the best capacity that I can as a human being with feelings and emotions as well. And I can help you on that level. But as far as a therapist or a psychiatrist, I can't do that. I can't do that. Did I use that word right? Psychiatrist. I don't know if I did. See, look, and I never claimed I'm the smartest person in the world. I don't want to be. I don't want to be nothing except me. And what is that? That's my individual definition. I don't have to live up to a standard. See, people will call themselves certain things and then believe they have to live up to that standard because what they're saying is tied to a specific programming, or it's tied to things that they don't deem or they don't want to do. And see, that's why you can't be nothing but who you are. So, like I said, so it's really a process. So the main thing you want to do if you're like me, someone who's always getting called on for advice or people believe that you're a calm person, the way that I did it was I became aware. Once I became aware, I built my knowledge. How do you build knowledge? Bitch, read, study, look at psychology, speak to people who are in fields of intelligence, figure out people who are just get out more, talk with people, socialize, build a network. Like I said, because that your network is your net worth. Just get out there, talk with people. At first, it'll be crazy. You'll be talking with someone, and they'll be like, "Oh, hey, how you doing?" I'm just like, I just seen you walking through this aisle here. What? So are you interested in herbs as well, or you're interested in cooking too? Just start a conversation and just be like, yeah, and be honest, be real with them, being like, yeah, I'm trying to really build my social skills. I'm trying to get out and socialize with people more. Be like, I find as though ever since COVID happened, because a lot of these kids nowadays, they're afraid of socializing. Like, yeah, I just feel as though I've been really scared on talking and this, that, and the third. See, me personally, I'm not the type of person who can multitask. And see, look, that's being aware. Not saying I'm not working on it. I'm working on it. It's something that I'm aware of, and now I can put in work. And so most of the time you have people that can multitask and socialize. Me personally, I be thinking they on something because there is no way. But I'm not saying that it's true. I'm just saying me personally, I be thinking they on something because I try my best efforts. I mean, sometimes I can do both, socialize and multitask. But see, the thing is, I'm the type of person that's polite and I let people finish. See, most of the time you have people that'll be like, okay, so yeah, I got this going on, so I'll have to see you later. Yeah, they'll end the conversation right there. Me personally, I'm the type of person that'll let a conversation roll on because I'm waiting till you finish the point. Once you finish your point, then I'll speak. But sometimes, because like I said, I do plumbing during the week. And I think yesterday I was talking with a customer and first time I felt pretty good with multitasking. I was doing a diagnostic on his effluent pump system. And as I was working, I was speaking with him about his experience in the military, talking about how he has a lot of talking about his network. He's got a guy who knows that could shut down a whole city for him. And so he was showing me his vest and such. And I was like, cool, man, dang. And he was like, yeah, no one can fit this. They make it special made, like $6,000 for it. I'm like, woo, dang, you got some big money. I mean, I don't really, what I'm saying? It's not something important to me. I don't really care, but you know what I mean? It matters to him. So, I mean, like I said, I have a capacity for caring for people in the aspect that like I said, we are all human. We are all going through shit, and it's always good to vent to somebody. So, like I said, build your awareness, build your knowledge, build with people who have knowledge, and then come up with your own shit. And that's really the best way to live life, the best way that you're going to be happy, the best way that you're not going to end up doing crazy, reckless shit, being a dumbass crash out. Yeah. Become aware. And so I'm going to give you a process, what that looks like. Like I said, first, for example, I'll say, dang, I'm a hater. And the second thing, that's when you start questioning yourself, being like, why am I a hater? Why am I hating on someone who's doing better than me? And then most of the time, you'll revert back to a programming that was given to you. Like, and the first thing that popped up in my mind is that you hate because you ain't. You hate because you ain't. And so it's just like, oh, so I'm hating because I'm not that. And then you'd be like, no. And see, in my mind, I'm like, no, but there's more. You hate because you ain't, but you can. But you can be. So the only reason you hate is because you know in your mind that you have the capacity to be just like them, but you're not at their level. And so it's like, oh, damn. Okay, well, I'm good with that answer. So what can I do to get to that level? And that's when you do your research. It's the scientific, God dang it, what is it called? The scientific method. Thank you. Thank you, Bray. See, look, this is why I try to take care of it. I try to eat my B12s, my B complexes. I drink my teas, my herbal teas and such, and my ginseng. Shout out to the ginseng. The ginseng, I just had some ginseng and saffron. So it's clicking a little bit. The brains are clicking a little bit today. So, like I said, it's like the scientific method. You ask a question, you form your own hypothesis, you do research, you experiment, you form an analysis, and then you figure out where you want to go from there. As simple as that. Life is nothing more than one big ass science experiment. But see, people don't know how to correlate things or put things into perspective. See, most of the time you can tell when a person truly has knowledge on something instead of just reading from a book. When you're just reading from a book, you're not able to conceptualize something to where a kid can understand. You have to conceptualize something where a kid can understand. And that's what I do now. Even with complex things that I don't understand, I use something or someone smarter than me. I'll use AI, artificial intelligence, ChatGPT. I'll be like, ChatGPT, explain thermodynamics in layman's terms. And that's the ultimate, another key that I'd use. Like with artificial intelligence, just whenever you're doing your research and you come across like complex research and things that you can't really understand, you just put it in ChatGPT and let it explain it to you in dummy terms, or let it explain to you in layman's terms. And then that's when you're like, oh, okay, so life is like this, or the brain is like a programmable computer. And so it changes, it deletes programs, it re-downloads new programs, this, that, and the third. And so, boom, you're set. So yeah, like I said, if you're wanting to do anything in life, just revert back to the scientific method. And most people who say like they hate school and such, like that's just a program that you're given. It's a program that you're given. Like with TV shows, they'd be like, oh no, I hate school. I hate this. I hate math. I hate da 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 da. You have to, because you're allowing your children, and we as kids were watching shows where the kids hated school. So just based upon like simple human desire to want to fit in, you would say the same thing. Oh yeah, I hate school. Oh man, I don't want to do homework. See, you're not correlating homework with beneficial things. Like, see, if all of society was to love reading, was to love books, shit, a motherfucker would be scared to think of anything otherwise. I promise you, if the entire world was to do nothing but read books, a motherfucker would be scared to divert from that. Not saying they wouldn't, but they would be more afraid to divert from the norm, or what they deem, or what society deems as normal. Most people anyways. Like you said, you always have your trailblazers, which is what the movie The Matrix tells you about. In any type of system, you're always going to have that one outlier that does what they want to do, does and is free, has, or not free, but has full autonomy. So yeah, like I said, I think this concludes the video. Yeah, this was like a really, really good spiel. And you get a piece of my mind, YouTube. Take that. No, sorry, I'm gonna delete that out. And yeah, that was the rest of the video. If you like what I was saying, it'd be nice if you like, comment, subscribe, all that, and I'll see you in the next video.